always been a big fan of Yasuke, who historically is known as an African warrior who historically has been a part of Japanese culture as well. The interest of that world really allowed me to go, hey, I'd like to write an opera about this. I'd like to put more characters of the African diaspora up front, because we always go back to Othello, and there are so many more. And what does a new opera look like with a new lead character of African descent? And how can that resonate with everybody on a human level? And that has brought us here, where we are workshopping with an amazing orchestra and some of my favorite musicians, this new body of work, which, as I've said to them all, this isn't a Japanese story, this is an African story in Japan. And we are just playing about and figuring out how we can blend East Asian timbres with African timbres and fuse the rhythms.
Exploring the piece over the last few days. We have been really pulling it apart and putting it back together again, understanding how our characters work and what role we play in the creative process. I think it's important to tell stories that people can relate to, but also that folk can see themselves reflected in the characters and in the story. Speaking about a third culture kid, like I know so many of us in this room and on stage and in audiences go through life feeling like you find your place eventually, but it may not be where you're from or where your ancestry is. It could be a secret third option. So I do believe it's a very, very important piece because we're also bringing together so many different musical heritages and traditions and styles, working with so many different extremely talented musicians and using things like free improvisation. So what you see when you see Yasuke is a real bringing together, coming together of loads of different people to create something really, really beautiful.
What is really important to me about bringing this together is putting musicians in a room that wouldn't normally work together. I feel like art always does that. It puts people in auditoriums that may not hang out with each other outside of those spaces. I think why that's incumbent is because art makes people think and art makes people question things, and then you go out into the world with new perspectives. And I believe that new music is needed because the comfort of familiarity stops us thinking. So what we're trying to do here is entertain, explore, introduce, and evolve. When you hear it come off the page and there's a frequency in the room and everyone's looking and going, I get what we're trying to do, that encourages you to push forward.
I'm enjoying being an observer, watching how people making opera, and everyone throwing ideas. Even we improvise on top of that, which is really cool. I really like it. People are all working together and trying to shape the story. We know each other for 10 years. We met in a jam session. I think this is a little bit similar, but also we have an orchestra. So it's the contrast between written music, composed classical music, and also improvised music from many different cultures.
I'm Nina. I play the alto flute, and I've really enjoyed this experience. It's been so cool to merge two kind of cultures together. It's been so interesting to kind of explore the different soundscapes that they both kind of hold. And as a half Japanese person, it's a story that really intrigues me. And I'm really excited to explore that and see where that journey kind of leads us with this story. It's also so inspiring to sit next to traditional Japanese player because she sounds gorgeous.
My name is Alfie Robinson, and playing marimba and bits of percussion here. In the last couple of days, I think it's just really focusing to get inside the character of how the marimba is being used. in the pieces. Because I've come from another background, I'm not a classical player, my world is jazz and other things. I just think when we all are in the zone of the music and we're really telling that story, there's a magic that comes out of all those textures and frequencies and harmonies and melodies, all of that. So, and then it's arriving at the end of the piece where we all breathe.
I haven't worked within the world of opera like this before. And opera is a different culture. It's a very different energy. So everything I do is about understanding and recognizing that there is a culture here. So how much of it do we keep, and how much of it needs to be kind of removed so we can make space for new energy? I'm just trying to find a balance in space where we can go, oh wow, I didn't know opera could be this. And actually, quite simply, how do I get the mandem in the opera theatres? That's what I'm trying to do. My friends who would never go to opera, how do I then put them in a room where they can resonate with the music and be able to relate to it? And that's what we've been exploring and playing with, is familiarity from both worlds, the opera world and the more contemporary world.